Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Box Banter. I am Raymond, and to my right is Timmy. How's it going?
It's all right. It's all right.
For a non-race weekend.
Well, there's NASCAR. There's always NASCAR.
Oh, I forgot that.
But we're not here to talk about NASCAR.
Yeah, we did, what, 10 seconds? And you're already mentioning it? You're
we're not
mentioning
here to talk
NASCAR
about a
on
great
an
form
F1
of racing.
podcast.
No, I'm just saying there was racing. There just wasn't... There just wasn't battery racing.
I'll give you 20 seconds, get it out of your system.
Ben Gisbergen won.
Okay, what does that mean?
He came from...
Sorry, it was my response not good enough.
No, I didn't expect you to actually give me time here. He came out with 18 laps to go, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He came out 24th.
That seems pretty mid-packish.
Yeah, about 30 seconds off the lead, and
Right.
he mowed down every single one of them and finished 8 seconds in the lead.
On pure pace?
Yeah. They were saving
Street
fuel a
track
little bit.
or oval?
It was a road course, yeah.
Okay, that's his specialty.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what he's famous for.
But that's the greatest NASCAR comeback in history.
Is it really?
Oh, well, that's what everyone's sort of saying. I've been watching NASCAR for a couple of years. I'm not enriched in the 75 years of history of the sport.
The greatest comeback I've ever witnessed.
Absolutely. I mean, come on. No one in
good on
front
him.
really pitted. It was a case of, they put the trust into him to use the pace that he has to run him down, as opposed to everyone else pitted with an awkwardly timed...
Tell you what, if NASCAR, added more street circuits and reduced their ovals, they're in trouble.
It's funny. Well, yeah. I mean, absolutely. It's funny. I love the ovals, and it's because I watch so much normal racing, Formula One, bit supercars, like GT racing,
Like circuit
everything
tracks.
I watch is and that's to me that's the normal form of racing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just race on ovals, and I think it's more interesting to me watching NASCAR on ovals because it's like that's the only time I get to watch that type of thing, and it's very different.
All right, well, to stay on theme, we won't talk about F1 yet. I'll pivot to the Nurburgring, for the first time in history, sold out
I saw
for the
this.
24-hour race.
That's crazy.
That is the Verstappen effect right there.
Well,
and if
what is
F1 don't
sellout?
recognize that, well, I don't know. But either way, how have they never sold out? Like, it's a pretty
Because
famous
it's like
event.
17 kilometers long.
Yeah, but I imagine that there's only certain areas where A, you can seat for grandstands,
Yeah.
or B, you can throw down a picnic rug or a camper chair and watch.
Whilst that is most likely true,
Because they couldn't have access to just anywhere on the track. Because
Yeah,
without
no.
security, anyone could just run on and...
well, yeah. I mean, while that is true, you still got to assume it's probably double than what a standard track has because there is still 17 kilometers of track. Well, I'm just guessing. I actually don't know how long the
Either
track
way,
is, but
You're focusing on the wrong thing here.
oh yeah. Well, I just want to know what the number is. I hate this sellout. Like it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like because I did see that, and it's like wow. Like that. Like I said, the Verstappen effect. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. But give me a number.
You are a stat guy.
I am
so,
a stat guy.
numbers do make you pop a chart.
I love
So,
a stat.
yeah. It's interesting because Mark Webber came out, I don't know when it was, yesterday, day before, in defense of Verstappen. And like we know that he obviously he bleeds Red Bull. He was a part of that organization for a long time. And,
Okay.
there's a lot of rumors going on around his boy. We'll get to that later. But he came out recently in defense of Verstappen saying that F1 need to protect him at all costs, that the sport needs someone like this, and that him being on the grid forces everyone else to elevate their game.
Well,
And
that
I
is
thought-
true. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought, that's interesting that he's come out and been quite vocally supportive of Verstappen, where a lot of the media has been basically daring him to quit.
Yeah.
I feel like everything has been like, well, if you don't like it, then fuck off.
Yeah.
There's plenty of other motor racing you can do out there. But then I think you see the Nurburgring 24-hour race sells out. People want to see, and like you know that, provided the team don't make another dunderhead mistake in the pits, he's probably going to win. And over 24 hours, he's probably going to win by half a day. So,
anything can happen with these races.
Anything can happen,
Mechanical
100%.
failure is at the top of the list.
100%. But I think that's impressive, and I think that's a big, I'll say warning shot to the F1 of like, people are attracted to what the talent that he is, and people respect that. And if you lose that from your sport just because you're daring him to or something petty, that's a huge loss for sure.
Didn't know Max needed defending, and I'm sure he was probably like, thanks, Mark, for having my back there.
No, but
I take your point. And like you said, everyone in the media from Juan Pablo to bloody our own Sky Sports, don't particularly like the way he's talking about the sport. But if he wasn't talking about the sport the way he has been and being so harsh on these regulations, would the FIA have made the changes that they have, and would they have made them so quickly?
Yeah, well, I mean,
They attributed those changes to not only the fans but the drivers and how expressive they've been.
Well, that's coming up with our highlighted news stories.
I'm not talking about those changes. I'm talking about the changes pre-Miami, as in the changes they just made in season. Three races into the year, or 4, they made a big change, a pretty big change, and it showed Miami that it was. 3 races, they made the big change, and it showed Miami that it was a positive thing.
Yeah, especially for Verstappen. But I would argue that that's in response to the fan outcry.
Yeah, but they did mention drivers and fans alike. But yeah, but again, your biggest figure in the sport is very, very strongly giving his opinion,
and he has been.
And they need to listen to that.
Well, he's been, skeptical of it even before the regulations came in, and then as soon as they dropped, he basically said, "This is not it." But it was interesting how F1 and even certain drivers, let's not forget Norris. I'm not going to let him off the hook here. Even he told Verstappen, "If you don't like it, leave." And he's since changed his tune, going, "Yeah, these cars aren't great."
Yeah, and they're dangerous.
Classic Norris doing a backflip because he can't stand for anything.
Yeah,
but I think
backbone.
Yeah, I think it's just interesting how F1 basically were telling everyone to shut up. And be like, no, these are fine. This always happens. Yeah. Like, you just got to wait, be patient, iron it out. Everyone's overreacting. And then 3 races later, they're like, all right, major changes for the season.
Pretty major.
And that has to be, yes, drivers are a part of that. But I think that's where's the money coming from. It's coming from your sponsors. It's coming from your viewership. If people are turning off and people are basically saying, this is shit, I'm not watching this, your sponsors are going to start saying to you, like, what's going on here? What are we doing? Like, bit of crisis mode. So it's interesting that whilst they publicly haven't come out and said, yeah, maybe it wasn't the best move, we're going to make some adjustments to try and rectify that. They've kind of just implemented these things right after telling everyone to, like, stop talking shit.
Yeah.
So I think it proves that the fans were right all along. Right from day one that this was, like, very artificial racing. The overtaking was doo-doo. Say what you want about...
a big problem.
Yeah. All these problems that they were basically telling us that we're wrong.
Yeah.
Now they've decided to step in and rectify. And they can put it under any banner that they want. They can say it's in the name of safety. But at the end of the day, the only thing they care about is money. Yeah. And if people were turning off the racing, that forced them to act now. They couldn't even wait until the end of the season and go, all right, let's implement these things the next season. It's 3 races, and they're probably lucky that 2 of those 2 races got canned.
Yeah.
So we didn't even get like a bigger pool of it because I reckon if
plus they had time to really analyze the data and see what changes they needed to be made.
Well, yeah, if we had those 2 races, I reckon they probably would have lost more viewership. If you had like 4 to 5 dull races in a row with very artificial racing, I think people would have been like, I'm out for the season. I'm done.
Formula One do not have a history of taking fan opinion on board and making changes, especially in that pace, which makes me just err on the side of caution of thinking that they are doing it now. Is all.
No, I think
you said yourself. All the tracks from here, probably halfway into next year, are probably already sold out. Fans have already bought their tickets.
That's only a fraction.
Yeah,
all the money's coming
from
TV deal
is already the TV deal's sorted up until probably 2030. So that money is coming regardless.
Well, I imagine that there's going to be certain benchmarks that they have to hit, right?
But they'll hit them.
Well, I don't know. If people are cancelling that, like Australia, I think is the perfect place to basically highlight this because we don't live in the UK. I don't know if you have to pay for Sky Sports or how much that is or how accessible it is. Now, obviously, their viewing experience is way more in depth than what we get. Yeah. You can pick a driver.
The red button.
Yeah, everyone knows the famous red button.
Famous red button to right on board with any driver you want.
Yeah.
We don't have the App Store and it's like, sorry, this is not available in your region. Okay.
Yeah. We don't have any of that.
No.
You can't use the Sky Sports app. You can't even use the F1 app. We can only watch it through KO. And KO charged through the goddamn teeth. And
the new updates are shit.
That's
KO.
terrible. Yeah, it's terrible.
KO.
And at the moment, like for me, I don't watch really anything else on there. Half the time I go on to try and watch an NBA championship game, it's not even airing on bloody KO.
It's on Amazon or Disney.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, that's probably the second biggest thing I would watch.
Yeah.
And then, the cricket season, I was talking to someone about this the other day. You literally have 5 matches in Australia per year, test matches, and then that's it.
Yeah.
So you can literally just have your subscription over summer.
Get a new email and a new bank account.
Yeah.
And just free subscription.
Yeah. Get a free trial, and then get out of there. So I don't think there's a lot of value there, but we're being paid. So basically,
this is the difference between me and you.
I forget you don't pay for KO. You leech your KO.
Listen, besides that, I maximise my shout out to Dad, by the way. I maximise my viewership from the amount of sports I watch. We did discuss this off camera a week or two ago.
And you don't even pay for it.
Hey, why are you being like this?
Okay, I'm sorry.
You don't pay for all of your KO.
Well,
you pay for half of your KO.
They'll cancel me. They've been trying to cancel me.
Oh my god! I can't believe you just
every time I click on KO, they go, "This has been detected for password sharing."
So we can delete that. Yeah. KO. I don't think KO. Their new update is horrendous. You know how many times I've tried to add favorites to the favorites bar and they delete every time? Because NASCAR never comes up. Well, this is the problem because I watch a lot of NASCAR and the O'Reilly series, 2 races a week I watch. Mm-hmm. They never come up in the live and upcoming section. They are never there,
it's too niche.
But it ain't. But then I have to search it, and the O'Reilly never comes up. So I search it, and then I try to put him in my favorites bar. That way it's easier for me. Next time I go in there, deleted. Like I tried to put NBA, Formula 1, V8, all these things in the favorites bar. Next time I go in, they're not there anymore. It's like, okay. The new update.
You poor bastard.
Man. It's horrible. Anyway, the other thing I want to say, in regards to not talking about Formula 1, did you, in the sellout of the Nürburgring, do you know what happened at the 24 Hours of Daytona at the start of this year? And this is the problem with going to these races as a spectator.
I don't know. I don't think I did.
6-hour fog caution.
Yes.
Because they can't red flag the race or they can't stop the race. They drove around, I think it was like 6 hours. But the cars were just circulating.
The difference is that would have been in their winter. This is going to be in their summer. So they're probably not going to have fog issues.
Well,
and that's probably why they're having the 24-hour race mid-year.
But the 24-hour race of Daytona is always at the same time of the year.
Daytona is a different part of the world anyway.
It is. Yeah. So I was just going to let you have that and let someone else call you out.
Sorry, I thought you were still talking about...
No, the Nürburgring's... I don't know what would happen there. But I just mean, like, that's the problem. You pay... Imagine that. You could pay whatever you pay. I don't know. It's probably not even much, really, to get trackside. But you commit 24 hours to sit there and be there. And then you have a 6-hour just watching the cars circulating a caution. Mm-hmm. The same sort of thing can happen at the Nürburgring. Not to mention the fact you see the cars once every 9 minutes. You see Max go past, and then you have 9 minutes to chill till he comes back.
Sure. But I don't really see how that's really that much different to Bathurst.
Every 2 minutes you get to see the cars.
You sit there all day, and I know you get to see...
All day is not 24 hours.
No, but you're camping there, what, 3 days?
4 days, yeah.
4 days. 4 days you're camping there.
It's the greatest week ever.
I'm not saying it's terrible, but I'm saying I'm surprised you of all people are complaining about that.
No, I'm not. I'm saying the fact that it's that just... It further emphasizing how impressive it is.
Okay.
Because
so you're on my team. You're on my team.
You go to, again, like I said, it's not even money because I don't reckon it'd be that expensive because how many tickets are they actually selling to 24-hour event trackside? But you go there and you give yourself, like I'd be devastated if we go to Bathurst and we watch the race and you sit there and it's 3 hours of caution. Of safety cars, of slow laps.
Like, well, that's the risk of sport.
Tricky.
That can happen in any sport. You can buy a ticket. I don't know how many times.
Sport is 24 hours straight.
No, but I don't know how many times I've bought a ticket to a test match and only got to watch half a day cricket.
Because it rains.
Yeah, because of rain.
And you're blistered because the sun's relentless.
Yeah, you still get sunburnt. Yeah. So you're miserable, you're damp, you're sunburnt, and you only got to watch half a day of cricket. And yet, I still buy tickets and go.
See, this is the problem. I can't. I've never been. It doesn't fall in the right season for me.
Right. Anyway... Just to put a bullet point on my thing, going back to my thing before you took it back to your thing.
This was your thing, arguably.
Well, just how much you pay for KO being, I think it's what, 40...
Let's stop it.
40 odd bucks.
I've never
once paid the bill. 40. You're asking people...
I used to pay back when it was like $18.
Yeah, that's right. You're asking people to pay like $30 to $40 to watch 24 races a year, minus 2 already, and then the racing's poor.
And they admit that they're not they're contracted only to 22, I think, or 20. So it's actually realistically, besides the revenue they lose trackside and sponsorship, but they're not obligated to run those races. So it doesn't matter to Formula 1.
Yeah, okay.
Not running those extra 2. That's why they're not running out and we need to replace them because their contract only stipulates 20, 22 races. The extra two are just a bonus for the fans.
Oh, lucky us. La-di-da.
Yeah, and then they get cancelled because of some,
Yeah.
something.
Okay, so the first headline that I will bring up, the official one, because all the other ones were just, just extra little cherries on top. F1 chiefs agree engine rule changes for 2027 to be the 50-50 power source split. So, do you remember what it is now? Is it 70-30?
Right now it's 50-50.
No, but what it was before?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay.
Probably sounds plausible.
Yeah. So, thoughts on that?
Yeah, so it's 50 kilowatts 50 kilowatts back into the internal combustion engine, 50 kilowatts obviously out of the battery. These things make 1,000 horsepower, so they've effectively gone, instead of 50-50, it's like 49.5, 50.5. So
Right.
they've really, I'm not really sure what it, it's basically putting another Capri engine in the back, another 50 kilowatts.
Right.
I don't know. I don't really get what I'd like to see. I don't know. I don't know what it is, what really it does, besides they get away from, we have a 50-50 split. They can say,
it's just getting rid of all the super clipping issues.
but it's only 50 kilowatts. That's what I don't really understand. Like they clearly can manipulate what they show with these upgrades they brought before Miami, or the changes they made. They can clearly manipulate these.
Like the splits, the divide between the two.
No, that'd be hard. I see why that has to be done by 2027, because to actually allow the engine to produce 50 kilowatts more, it's going to take some tuning, maybe some actual changes to the engine. But the way they've able to change the amount of battery usage, the amount of super clipping they require, those are parameters they can clearly change at will.
Right.
So I don't know why they don't just kind of hone in on that. Where they just go, what's the worst track for super clipping? Probably Baku. Let's make the car just chef's kiss, perfect amount of battery deployment there. Every other track, you're guaranteed to have no super clipping. Tracks like Monaco, okay, you're just going to have just crazy amounts of battery, get back to the government or something, cash in on your rebate.
Yeah.
Just do something else.
Yep.
Yeah, but make the cars work at the worst track.
Yeah, what's the most extreme version of it, and then cover that.
And then they work at every other track instead of...
It does make me wonder, like, we've mentioned, or we've spoken before about the sport, how it's supposed to evolve. And in my mind, you're supposed to get like faster and, more hit higher levels of like pace and grip and whatever. If you've worked out this way to like get the most out of a battery and the most out of a combustion engine, we saw in Miami, was it the Haas's were top speed at like around 350?
Yeah.
Like, is there a world where we can hit that Baku straight like 380? With those combined.
The faster you go, the more wind resistance. You really do max out at some point.
That's what I mean. Like if they've developed these batteries to really just give them so much more horsepower, and then they're pairing that up with a combustion engine, like surely that is like a good trade-off. Like, okay, it's not the ear-splitting sound of the V10. You don't get the smell of fuel. You don't get the fear of death put in you when they fly past you, and you think that they're going to explode, because how can they not? Because they're hitting whatever it is, 12,000 RPM. I don't know if that's 17,000. But if you're going to a track and you're seeing a cars race wheel to wheel at 380 kilometers, then you're just like,
I don't think they want them to go that fast. That's what
I mean. Like that's almost. Like, all right, that's something I'm paying money for.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Top speed aside, if it's slow the deployment down, so we see the battery's just straight gone, right? Slow the deployment down to go, all right, that track, that straight, from the time they exit that final corner and they slalom, and that straight's 18 seconds, I want to say, 20 seconds. Make the battery deploy at that speed, where you'll still gradually get more speed, and you'll max out before you hit the brakes at 350. You're at 350 for less time, but you're not super clipping. You're gradually increasing your speed. The draft to be awesome. That's what I feel like they need. And then, like I said, either they make alterations race to race, which may be harder to really nail. But even if that's now your goal, that is the baseline for the car. How it works at the hardest track for deployment and regen, and then every other track just lives with it.
All right, well, so let me put this here because this might come from a place of ignorance because I'm not mechanically minded, but we'll keep using Baku as an example because that is a long front straight, and I think everyone's kind of interested to see what happens there. And I think even the Formula One are a bit nervous about what's going to happen there. But let's say we've argued for a while that strategy just hasn't been a part of the modern game. They took it out. They've taken it out. There's no like fueling. There's no. Very rarely do you need to do a two-stop.
Yeah. If a two-stop is a negative result.
Yeah. So the strategy game's gone. Why couldn't we then have the battery play more in the strategy game? And by that, what I mean is, say you're coming out of the final corner of Baku and you're hitting that front straight, right? Now, if you deploy your battery right then and there, you're obviously going to be quick off the line. So you can like leave your buddy behind you and just, you can get the drive straight out of there. But let's say you only hit a top speed of 340 because you drain your battery, the combustion engine chops out, your top speed is 340. So at some point, maybe halfway down the straight, you're now max speed.
You've turned into a Toyota Camry.
Yeah. But then the car behind you, right, doesn't deploy the battery. It hits basically top speed at its combustion engine and then hits the battery. And then at the back half of the straight, now they're hitting 360, 370. They've topped out and then they've found an extra horsepower, like a boost.
Right.
And then you can sort of play the strategy of like, all right, do you want to get out of the corner quicker and like try, and defend further down, or do you want to save your top speed and come back, more? And I know Baku is a long straight, so not every track has this, but couldn't that maybe be a piece of the strategy puzzle?
Well, you've seen Fast and Furious, right?
Yeah.
Too soon, Junior?
Yeah.
It's basically a NOS button at this
Monica!
point. Yeah. Too soon.
Yeah. Manifold overheating.
Yeah. Let's not get into it at all. So Formula E. So I don't watch Formula E. Let me just
I've never
stake my claim right now. I do not watch
Funnily enough, I've watched more, I don't know what's called, the female Formula version.
Formula W, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Yeah, no,
Funnily, I've watched more laps of that.
I've never watched Formula E like in my life, but occasionally I do get something come across my TikTok. One that I did come across recently was, so they must have kind of like fuel in a Formula car. They have a battery that expels over the race, and you have to manage. No, the charge. You have to manage that, and obviously you can't recharge mid-race.
Yeah,
and you run the risk of running out of charge, and your car just stops, and that's it.
Right.
So you have to manage that. So yeah, I did see a highlight where a car had come out of the final corner, and he ran out of power.
So Hannah, are you saying that they have charge? So like
it's like a remote control car can run out.
No, I know that, but like, so say in Formula One, they're fueled up for 300 kilometers, right? Yeah. That's all you have.
Yeah.
Is it the same thing, or is it lap to lap? Like
no, that's what I'm saying. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
So they have a charge
that get them to 300 kilometers.
Gets them, and there's a bit of management involved.
Right.
Maybe that's what Formula One need. Not that, but the boost element.
Like it's limited. Like you only have so much of it to deploy over a whole race. Are you saying?
So say it still regens, and you can still max out what you have, but you only get. Say in Baku again, you get 20 seconds. Say you there's 5 laps there where you don't have it, and so you got to manage it. So you wait, so that allows a strategy. So you go, or do I use it in defense, or do I let them have it and just try and stick with them for a couple of laps, and then I'll use one. So you only have essentially, I don't know, Baku's 50 laps. You only have 40 laps where you can use it down that straight, something like that. So then you get that bit of strategy. Do you use it to run like hell? Do you save your cookies to the end? Obviously, you'll only use it when you need it. Do you use it to get the fastest lap if they still have points? Like that would open a bit of strat. So you could just use it all, and then like you're done. Like you use all your tokens, and that's it.
Yep.
That's an option.
I don't know. So,
but again, that's gimmicky, right? But it allows a little bit of strat.
I don't know if you remember much of the Miami Grand Prix because it was an ungodly hour, and man, I was written off all day after that.
Okay.
But remember when we were watching and Charles Leclerc went off. He made a mistake. He went off the track and Piastri passed him.
Yes.
But then Charles just out of nowhere drove past him like he was standing still. And we were like, what the hell? How does that even happen? He made a mistake. He had no traction coming out of the corner on for that straight.
Oscar completely cleared him.
Yeah, had a perfect run, and yet somehow he's just done that. Now, I didn't realize until after that, but Piastri actually highlighted that. And he actually, when he saw the replay or whatever, he said there was literally nothing I could do.
Yeah.
He was just a passenger.
Yeah, you just get out the way so you don't get hit.
Yeah. And I was thinking about it after, and I was like, how does that even happen in this sport? How can someone make a mistake?
Yeah. So we spoke.
And
I think
they're
we
not
spoke about
essentially
this on the pod.
Well, I don't remember. I was so tired. But they're not punished. And like basically, like it didn't have any effect. Like he made a mistake. Yes, he didn't hit the wall until later in the race, but he made a mistake, and yet it didn't really like affect his race.
Yeah.
Someone actually said to me that it was probably because he didn't deploy his battery.
Yeah, I said this.
there.
This is what we've talked about during the episode.
You know, I don't listen to you.
Oh, clearly. Clearly.
I don't even know what you're saying earlier.
Just now. Yeah.
But yeah, so maybe he had all of that battery reserve, whereas Piastri had used his, so he's just to undo the mistake deployed it there.
Yeah.
I hate that so much.
Yeah.
I hate that so much.
So that's what I'm saying. Like maybe because Charles not meant to go off, they were out of sync with their battery uses. Because you're the second car.
You were the somebody. You're confirming right
that's
now.
What I'm saying. Yeah, because he's got the draft, so he's maybe already used his battery to stick with the draft. So then expecting Charles to use his battery, but he's in his draft. But then because they done the old switcheroo, Oscar had lost his draft and he'd already used his battery. So then Charles was like, well, I've got my battery because I was going to use it in defense, but you're going to tow along with me. That was my theory and how that happened. And like you said, that does mean your mistakes aren't punished because
you can undo them.
Because you can undo them because the other driver had raced you in a certain way, expecting to still be behind you, entering the longest straight on the track.
It is literally like Mario Kart when you get like shelled.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, fuck. And then you just bang, you hit a mushroom. And then you undo it essentially. And you're like, oh, sweet, we're all good.
It's funny. They say the same thing about NASCAR these days because they used to be a 4-speed transmission. So they would just run around. And I'm just saying, they complain about the same things. They used to just run around 4th gear all the time. But now they have a 5-speed. So now they say, if you make a mistake in a corner, what you see drivers do now is just downshift, as you would in like a road car when you're getting a bit bogged down, and drive out of it. So it's,
That's great.
To be honest with you.
So great. Yeah.
But it's the same thing. It's mistakes aren't punished. I just like talking about it.
Okay, I'm going to move on. So earlier in the week, or I guess technically it was last week now because it was Miami.
Sorry. Since we're talking about Miami in the last episode, I want to clear some things up because we have. I guess I have because I've been dealing with things these days lately.
I like that you think that these haters are watching us.
They're not watching us at all. But I just want to we recorded that Miami Grand Prix 20 minutes after the race.
If that, yeah.
And we knew there was a risk of information coming out post-recording.
Mm-hmm. Like Charles getting penalised.
Jesus, do I not expect Charles to get a penalty in 20 seconds, Max to get a penalty in 5 seconds? And then the biggest kicker was Liam Lawson had a gearbox failure, apparently, that pushed him into the Alpine to tip him on his lid.
Apparently, so they say.
We have been crucified, which, mind you, every one of these people have had NZ in their title of their name, of their profile, go figure. But what irks me the most was this not out of character for Liam Lawson? That if it wasn't for me gearbox failure, no, it was, sure. If it wasn't, like what we saw on screen, was that not something you would expect and have seen from Liam Lawson before?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 100%.
That was my thing. Yeah. It's like we were speaking
it's
without
not like he's
the
got
information
a perfect record
and
knowledge.
Out of
out
of character.
He's never done that before.
Like, we had it was terrible watching. The way we were watching it and the audio. So we didn't, it's hard to pick up. I was curious why he didn't drive away after flipping Pierre, because he kind of just stunted. I don't know if you could tell then his gearbox was fouled, but we didn't detect anything. So we were talking from the heart, watching as race fans what we saw, and that's all that was. And people delete this. It's okay. We were speaking from the heart. What we said at the time was genuine feelings.
Yeah.
And nobody who watches Formula 1 should be surprised if Liam Lawson did that without a mechanical failure. It's all I'm saying.
Yeah. It's even funny too because it's like it's not like he went on to score points or whatever. He DNF'd. What are you defending? Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And if he didn't have a history of it, again, if this was like who's a clean driver, it's tough. Bottas, he's pretty clean. If it was Bottas, you'd be like, wow, like you don't really see.
You would go, he must have a mechanical failure.
He must have had a gearbox failure, right? What else explains that? Exactly. But a driver that has notoriously, last year, numerous times, collisions, his fault or not, kind of his fault. Whether the rule is written the certain way, like avoidable on his behalf, he's had plenty of contacts. So I'm just saying, it wasn't out of the norm. Well, it wasn't out of reason to suspect Liam Lawson was up to no good on that move. Is all. Just want to clear the air on that one.
You finished defending your case now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. FIA President Mohammed bin Sulayem. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, I've recently learned. I've heard his name a lot lately.
Yep.
And I can confirm that's how it's said.
Well, he just confirmed V8 engines are returning in 2030 or 2031.
That's exciting, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
We have been shitting all over these regulations. The whole world has been shitting all over these regulations, and this may be the greatest thing that happened to the sport.
It is. I'm conflicted because I'm like, man, I'm going to be like 40 when that happens. That sucks.
Yeah, don't expose yourself like that.
But I think it's good news. I think this is the
news.
direction that everybody has been shouting to go.
Even in road car land, I don't think electric cars are the future. It's biofuel. It's got to be biofuel.
Well,
Zero emissions, carbon neutral.
I don't have an opinion on that because I wouldn't even know where to start on that, but sure.
Well, I'm just saying, Formula One, I don't know what their target for carbon neutral, zero carbon bio, whatever on every industry is banging on about these days with carbon neutral crap and their goals for when they're going to be carbon neutral. Like electricity is not carbon neutral. Like look at how it's made and all this sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But biofuel, I mean, Seb went out of his way to make a friggin' 70s or an 80s, 90s Ferrari race on biofuel just to prove
that it could be done.
That it can be done and it can be great and you can have the power and you can have the noise and you can have everything you want and you can be bio-neutral, carbon neutral. Yeah.
Yep.
Nothing but water coming out of the
Tell
exhaust.
You what, I like Vettel more and more. For someone right? I just sort of despise.
Hippie Vettel is...
He's awesome.
He's unreal.
He's great.
B Vettel is
How much weed do you reckon he smokes?
He must be.
He just chuffs all day, right?
He must be puffing it up. But that's okay.
And that's
really
literally how that would happen. He's just there, and then he goes,
puff.
You know what we should do? Let's make my Ferrari run on biofuel.
Do you reckon
that's a stone of thought.
Do you reckon Seb smokes joints?
I don't see him as a vape guy.
No.
Or a bong.
Like a pipe?
Like a Gatorade bong.
I don't, yeah. No, see, I don't, yeah, that's not where I was saying. That's not where I was saying. No, I was more of a, he's a pipe, surely, right?
He's a pipe smoker.
Yeah. Or like a, I don't know, but maybe like a, you can turn him into like
I reckon he's one of those
stuff, can't you? Like
shisha.
gummies.
One of those things where it's like you put the thing in there and you got the...
you put the weed in the coconut. One of them.
No, it's the shisha.
You know what? I don't know.
But yeah, anyway, it's got
Seb,
like
know.
Yeah. What are you smoking, Seb?
How do you do it? We know what you're smoking, but how? What's your...
But that's... Yeah, you're right. Turning your Ferrari into a biofuel machine is...
But just to prove to a sport that's forgotten about you, what we should be doing in the future.
Yeah.
I mean, what's taken Formula One... I don't know if I think... You know what? I think I heard that. I think Formula One runs on biofuel now.
This has shades of that 70s show where he's like, runs on water, man.
Yeah. I'm telling you. Yeah. God, we've gotten off the rails, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think they run on bioethanol now. So they're definitely going to be running on biofuel with these V8s. I don't know if they've confirmed or not, but they definitely will be. But like, how has it taken this long? That's always been there. That's always been an option. And again, I know the real world's heading in electrical ways and motorsport follows the real world or the motorsport dictates the real world, however you want to look at it. But I don't think electric cars are the future in the road anyway. So maybe this is a cheeky sign of what's going to happen out in the real world.
Yeah.
But the best thing is as well with all this is I think it was the Kim Ullman, maybe.
Oh yeah. I
think he brought this up, and it's a great point.
Photographer dude.
Yeah, it's a great point.
He wears bucket hats and jorts.
Yeah. He's he brought up the fact that teams like McLaren make a V8 in the real world, like Alpine or Audi, Audi make their own engine now. But like all these other teams now that have been customers, they make V8 engines out in the real world. Like McLaren don't make a super crazy hybrid ridiculous engine for their road cars, so they don't have anything to make for a Formula 1 car. So it opens all that up.
So what are you getting at? That McLaren might actually make their own engines rather than buying them from Mercedes.
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, they've never done that in the past. So there's no reason to think they would, but they could, right? I don't know. I think it's the best thing ever. And it sounds like a sure thing. He said, as Ben's words,
confirmed
Mohammed, Ben's words were 2031, 100%. It's happening. It's up to the FIA, which, by the way, hasn't he been so quiet?
He has.
We really haven't heard much from him. I think he came into power in like 22. Just quiet as a mouse. Never heard a word from the guy.
Yeah, I don't pay a lot of attention to him. But
nothing, right? The swearing is probably the biggest thing. No swearing and the jewelry.
Yeah.
There's been some weird things.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, he's just like, let's fucking turn this shit up. V8 engines, you know, all these mid-season changes to get shit on the road. Like, I'm starting to like this guy.
Maybe he's like, that's like the Arab in him where he's like, the future is oil, not batteries.
Well, smart. Yeah. That is smart. Yeah.
He's choosing a side. He's like, none of this 50-50 shit anymore.
Yeah.
We're oil. Although, like you said, biofuel.
Yeah. It's still oil in the motor.
All right. Next, I believe you have a piece of news that you want to talk about.
Actually, yes. So this is Ben as well. So I think I might have just stepped on my toes a little bit just then. But yeah, so Ben, actually, no, yeah. Ben Sulayem, the as we've just spoken about, the president of the FIA, same Ben, believe it or not.
Another one.
Yeah. He's
familiar.
He has released a official investigation into multiple teams. So Red Bull and RB. And then he's looking into a potential link between Mercedes and Alpine. That one...
So he's looking into those 4 teams?
Well, yeah. And he says that that's not right. He says it shouldn't be happening.
They're working together?
No team should have 4 cars, is effectively what he's saying.
Right, okay.
And it's like...
Because it's working out so well for Red Bull at the moment. And Alpine. Alpine are clearly benefiting so much.
Are the mutt in that relationship.
They are.
Look at the top of Red Bull this year. Look at the top. Who has won every championship since 2010?
Red Bull, Mercedes.
Correct. And what they're benefiting from...
But not their sister teams, right?
No. Like I said, everyone's got to be...
So you're saying that they may be using their sister teams to like...
Everyone's got to be the ugly... Someone has to have an ugly stepsister. And that's what Alpine and RB are.
So what? Is the accusation that they're using those teams to get...
Well, it's just
more data and information
to
them.
Data. That's what Formula 1 is.
Right. Okay.
And there's this Alpine thing. Like he says, we're just looking into a potential link. But we did Monaco 2018, Ricciardo's win. And during that race, was it Gasly in the Alpine? No, it wouldn't make a lot of sense. I can't remember who it was, whatever team they even were at that point, Renault maybe. No, I'm getting confused. But it was this team. And it was Racing Point. So Mercedes it was Racing Point. I get confused because this team was pink. Well, they are pink now, and Racing Point was pink. It's very confusing. Mercedes have had a history of having a non-official... I mean, it was friggin' Williams up until... It was Williams most recently. They've always had this unofficial junior team. And then, so I guess maybe now it's Alpine. But...
Well, Toto was linked to buying out Alpine, or Mercedes were linked to buy him out.
Which I think he's got a stake in Mercedes.
Well, yeah, he would be. Yeah, he owns that. What's the company he owns? That major sponsor on Mercedes? What are they called? No,
Petronas.
No.
They're still sponsored by Petronas. They are.
I think so.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
Yeah, so that's that. I mean, just you got to wonder how is it taking this long, and what's triggered it? Because if no other team is out there saying, "Well, this has been going on for 20 years, and now's the time that we need to make a change." That has me curious. Like, what's triggered this investigation and why, if it's a problem, and if he feels that he can outlaw it somehow, like, why is it happening now?
Yeah, okay. Ineos. INEOS. Ineos?
What do they do?
That's his holding company.
I understand that.
That's sponsor.
What do they do? What's Ineos do?
Do you want me to... Do you really care?
No, I don't actually
care. Look, I think I agree that it is unfair. I mean, they introduced the salary cost cap basically to try and level the playing field for the smaller dudes.
Yeah.
So this kind of just feels counterintuitive to have this. So yeah, it makes it to either get another major sponsor or cut all ties, whatever it is.
Or be Red Bull and just pay for everything.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, we've seen it with George Russell. Mercedes were able to. You just use Williams like dirty little sluts to just be like, take this guy. Take this guy for us so we can keep him on the books. George too. I mean, they still are.
Poor dude had to, got banished to Williams, had to wait his time, had his whole early career.
Shit.
Yeah, had his early career basically like you bandage down the back there, you know, cut your teeth. Finally gets the call up to the big team, and then you know, this kid that they've been breeding in the Mercedes factory, comes out of nowhere and is just smoking him.
Yeah.
So
regardless, they used Williams, and this is a benefit like Ferrari. They don't really have another team, so if they want to take a risk on a young guy, they have to take a risk and put him in the big car and sacrifice points. And it's just a risk that Ferrari aren't likely to make, and they didn't. I mean, again, they kind of had the Charles thing with Sauber, so this is not really new for any team. But Red Bull have 2 whole cars. I mean, Williams can probably promise 1 car to Mercedes, Sauber, so Ferrari don't have anyone now because Sauber are no longer Sauber. So Ferrari don't even have a choice anymore. But they maybe, again, had 1 car they could use.
To be fair, I think if Ferrari focused more on one team, they might actually have a bit more success.
I don't think they're focusing on Sauber. I'm just saying they had an opportunity to not have to go, all right, here's a rookie, let's put him in this car and sacrifice Ferrari, sacrifice the Ferrari name, sacrifice the points they could potentially earn from a second good driver car combo. You know, Mercedes took that risk last year, and god damn, is it paying off this year? But that's what Red Bull have, is they have had, and they've just not hidden the fact, obviously, that is purely, that team is so they can develop drivers, they can develop engineers, they can develop bloody team principals. So once these people are ready, they can move up to Red Bull, and they've got a fully experienced inbred factory of people.
They're not green. They already know how everything works.
They already know how Red Bull works. They already know the people in the family. Like, win-win.
I think, so I'll use that to pivot to, because we'll stick with the Red Bull news. But real quick, I'll just say, I think that's why I find it quite interesting, guys like Jean-Pierre Lembizzi.
Just say JP.
That he has made the shift. Because, like, I guess it surely as an engineer or whatever role he's going to take now would be similar to a driver where you're so used to one type of system and one sort of how things operate that late in your career, because he's been in F1 for like 20 years. I didn't even realize he'd been there for so long. But now you're shifting to a whole new team that has a whole different structure and culture and stuff. Yeah. I do wonder, like, are you set up for success, or are you now just kind of going to be on your back foot a little bit because you haven't come through the system, you haven't been there for years. Yeah. It's going to take a bit of getting used to.
It's probably fresh ideas from both sides. I mean, anyone would love to get someone from Red Bull just for their knowledge.
Yeah, yeah.
And then at the same time for him, it's like you've been doing it one way. It may be the best way, but you've been doing it one way for so long. You might go to another team and all of a sudden you've got more freedom and you've got more opportunity to learn and adapt.
Yeah, so you have your ideas, listen to it, whatever.
So that makes a whole lot of sense. But as far as him leaving, it's also, like I said at the time when the news broke, it's like the ugly 8th, 9th season of a sitcom when everyone's kind of gone. And it's kind of like, it's time.
Yeah, it's like the person who was like the 6th lead is now all of a sudden the main character.
Yeah, and it's filled with a whole bunch of new people and you're kind of like, oh, I don't really like it. And then everyone else just bails and then it's over. And that's what's going on with Red Bull at the moment.
So speaking of Red Bull, now I'm sure you've heard of this. The rumor mill has just been churning. And like, I remember last year when, you know, we were some of the loudest voices crying out against some of the injustices against Piastri. And there was a lot of like chat around, oh, there might be a straight swap between him and Ferrari and Charles. And, you know, like there was a lot of chatter around, you know, he's not there to be a number 2 driver, but he's kind of being treated as a number 2 driver. And now, you know, he might be looking for opportunity elsewhere. And we spoke about it. It could be in Aston Martin. It could be Ferrari.
God, thank God it wasn't Aston Martin.
Oh, I know. Imagine that. Imagine if we were sitting here and that happened. And after we were saying last year, like, that's where you want to go.
Yeah. Thank God. Dodgeball there, Oscar.
But there's a couple of things here. So first one is Red Bull have said that they are targeting Piastri as a possible Verstappen replacement.
Have they?
Yeah.
I've not heard this.
Well, they've said that
they've officially said
if Verstappen does leave Red Bull and whether he leaves the sport,
ifs and buts,
and whether he does want to go to McLaren or wherever,
does not want to leave the sport, they have no interest in Piastri. Is that what you're saying?
Well, why would they? They've already got the best driver on the grid.
Piastri. Yeah, but they have a second car.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying
Piastri's not going to be a number 2. Piastri is only
the
leaving.
Second option right now.
But he's only
going to have
just shut the fuck up for a minute. He's only going to leave McLaren if he's guaranteed a number 1 seat somewhere. Why would you then go to Red Bull and be the wingman to Verstappen?
It's not Red Bull's.
McLaren, as far as I'm concerned, McLaren right now are treating him as a number 2 driver. And I think he now knows that. Because look at whatever adjustments they made to that car going into Miami, clearly are made for Norris. They're not made.
Are you trying to upset me? This is a week off. This is when I enjoy Formula 1 the most.
Hey,
when they're not on.
You bring up NASCAR every week. I'm going to bring up Piastri.
No,
right?
we can talk about Piastri, but not the yucky stuff. Not the fact that McLaren are clearly still
Well, we have to. We have to. Look at how was he 25 seconds off the pace of Norris after looking pretty rock solid, fending off George Russell in a much better car than him in Japan. The upgrades are there to suit for Norris. Yeah. Yes. And I think that if he didn't understand that last year, how does he not understand that this year? That the car has clearly been tuned more to Norris's driving style and not his. So he's either going to have to be forced to adapt and always be a step behind now, which is what happened last year at the end of the season when conveniently they brought in upgrades right when Piastri had the championship and was looking like he was pretty set in, and then all of a sudden, sorry, you have to take these upgrades. There's no ifs or buts around it.
You're ruining my Monday night.
Hey, I'm going to speak about this. If Mark Webber's not, I'm going to point this stuff out. And I think that's why the rumor mill is hot. But you got Mark Webber, who's clearly very close to Red Bull. And I reckon...
So why is he trying to keep Max in the sport? Why is he trying to defend him? Well... He should be like, yeah, get this guy going.
Well, you don't forget he's taken a reduced role in Piastri's camp. But, I don't know. I don't see really much benefit of Max staying at Red Bull. I reckon that, like, all of the core group of people that he was with, that he was coming through Red Bull with and had all of the success, they're all gone. So that team looks like it's on the downslide than on the upside. Right now, you want to be in a Mercedes, which we all know Toto has a hard one for him, and he could probably go there if he wanted. But they've now found this super kid. And I would be very surprised if they would want to do anything to upset him. You've got essentially the next generation Verstappen on your hands. The next gen Vettel, the next gen whoever. McLaren seem like it's the best bet. Him and Norris have a very close friendship. They're buddies. They're always kissy. That would be an interesting driver pairing. And, you know, we know that McLaren have a lot of money and they would happily probably fork out for someone of Verstappen's fee. And then Ferrari's probably your next best driver. Red Bull are probably the fourth or fifth best car right now. Yeah. If Verstappen's going to stay in the sport, I'm assuming that he wants to be in a winning car, right? That's why you're there. We see what he does with a subpar car. He carves up the whole field. He's still, I think, out driving what the car he has underneath him. So if he gets an opportunity, he links back up with GP and McLaren. Where does that leave Oscar? The perfect place would be number one driver at Red Bull.
You're right. But my problem is the team tells you, we want you so bad. We want you so fucking bad. But only if Max leaves. If Max doesn't leave, we don't want you at all. We don't want you. We know we got three other cars.
Hang on.
We know you have three other cars.
Red Bull didn't come out, strip naked and go, here, we're ready. Come get us.
I'm just saying. You're talking about Oscar, does he want to be a number two? Red Bull are not even off. Like, you'd say, yeah, we want you. Like, we want you bad. Not, we want you bad, but only if our main guy. If he chooses to leave the sport. We're not asking you to...
But he doesn't even seem like he's... Like, the other part of this is the rumor mill has been saying that apparently there's talks of a driver swap between those two directly. So what I'm saying is that Red Bull are clearly... They're seriously considering that Max is going to leave. Whether it's the sport or the team, we don't know yet.
Like,
but they're clearly putting out the feelers to be like, if there's anyone out there that we want, it's Piastri.
Yeah. And that makes sense because why would you want Norris? Why would you want to deal with that baby? They probably know Kimi Antonelli's untouchable. George Russell's kind of in that same Norris camp. Don't get me wrong, I think Oscar's the best. I just think Red Bull don't have Oscar's true... I would
take that over the bullshit that's going on with him and McLaren.
Yeah, but you don't think that they love Hadjar over there at Red Bull? You don't think if it happens next year, Hadjar's got a whole year in this car, plus the year before, you don't think they maybe angle at...
No.
Oscar is finding himself one step behind, no matter where he goes. Because if he's gone to McLaren, and he's a couple of seasons behind Norris, who's, we love Norris, he's been on our books since he was fucking 8 years old, we need to make sure he can get his dues. And then if he goes to Red Bull, they're going to have Hadjar in the same boat, a Red Bull junior driver, much like Mark Webber going into Red Bull as an outsider. You're going to get... They're going to favor their young talent they've nurtured.
They got Mark, and he was the best driver there for a few years until Vettel came along. And then the
That was
situation
because
was
he
a little
got
bit
there
different.
as soon as the team opened. They didn't have a junior program yet. They didn't have anything yet. They weren't anything.
Yeah, but
Now
still,
they are
still
fully
took a
set
risk on a
up.
driver who had no real success
How
in the
dare
sport.
you talk about Mark?
I'm
like
just
that?
saying. I'm
He
saying
was a
it's not
fantastic
unlike. We saw them
Pardon your
not pull from their driver pool and go get
for Mark.
no, and go get Sergio. You know,
Okay.
And I'm not
That
saying
was their drive. They were in tatters.
what I'm saying is it's
Absolute
not
tatters.
that crazy for Red Bull to do.
No, I'm not. That's fine.
But
But,
at the
I
end-
don't think they would necessarily gift Piastri the number one
I
on a
think they
platter.
would. I think-
Hadjar is
how
as
can you
hungry
not-
as anyone.
How can you
Because
not
Hadjar
look
will
at?
have something to say about that.
Well, who gives a fuck what he has to say?
Red Bull gives
So
a
he
fuck.
put it
That's
in-
what I'm saying.
He clipped the inside corner of
Oh, no, what a
Miyabi
fucking amateur,
and then
right?
punched himself in the head 30,000 times. Like,
Yeah, let's not
the
forget him
kid,
crying
the
in
kid
Australia.
has some
He's got
maturing to
emotion.
do.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
he clearly has.
That's the Max in him. This is the shit we saw from Max.
I don't
Maybe
know.
less crying. I don't know if I've ever seen Max cry,
I think,
but the
that
anger.
If you take
Max is the only Formula 1 driver in the recent years I've seen push and shove a guy face to face.
I think if you take Max out of the picture right now, you would either want Piastri, Antonelli,
Which you're not getting.
and maybe Norris.
Which I don't think that's true.
Either way,
I think
who does that
McLaren.
leave?
I think he's safe.
Who does that
McLaren
leave?
could.
You would want Piastri
I'm
in your car.
agreeing with you because Red Bull want the best two drivers.
Yeah, but I'm
But
saying
I don't think they have. I don't think they have Piastri's best. I don't think they have his
okay. So
best
then,
intentions.
So what
for
I'm
him.
saying is, I think that they do. I think that they would want to build the team around him, and have him as a number one driver. And whether they have his best intentions or not, I still think that he would have a better chance of winning a championship in that than where he's with McLaren right now. I think McLaren are going to continue to keep him down.
I agree. I agree that
Thank you.
he should leave McLaren. I just don't think it'd be as sweet and smooth sailing. I don't expect him. Maybe they don't. I don't think they give him number one. I think if anything, it's equal, papaya equal.
Nah, Red Bull haven't
It's
operated
hard
like
to-
that.
They do though. They nurture their young talent.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I agree that they do that.
And Hadjar is the one guy they've got come through since Vettel. He's their second. Oh, sorry, since Max. He's their third success story in their history, their 20-year history of this
Hadjar.
ability.
Hadjar.
Yeah.
What's successful about him?
So far, he clipped the wall once. Besides that, he had a great rookie season last year.
He did. I'll give
and
you
then
that.
he's killing it this year.
But a quarter of the grid were rookies, and he wasn't even the best rookie out of the
It
bunch. He
doesn't-
was probably the
fact
second
is,
best.
He's showing more than
Sorry, I'm
Albon.
I'm
He's
just-
showing more than Gasly. He's showing more than all these other people, and he's showing like he could be in that seat. And
Yeah.
I don't think they want to write off another junior driver, which they will if they bring in Oscar, and they just everything's about Oscar, and we know how fiery Hadjar is. It won't work, and then they risk losing another junior driver and how that looks, and then I just don't think they risk.
I don't think Red Bull have any shortage of junior drivers. I think
They have a significant shortage of good ones because they keep fucking them.
No, I don't see any world right now where they either give Hadjar equal billing or higher billing than Piastri if it was to happen. I
But
just
we're
don't see
talking
it.
about it happening next year. Like I said, Hadjar has 2 years of Formula One. Look what Oscar did in his third year.
Mm-hmm.
Hadjar becoming into his third year if Oscar was to go there next year.
It's interesting. It's an interesting. I lean towards. I hope it kind of happens because I don't like what's happening at McLaren.
I want him to get away from
and
McLaren.
like, whilst this has shades of Ricardo leaving Red Bull
Yeah,
because
again,
he
you're
wasn't.
always one step behind. As soon as he leaves, like he's going to be one step behind Norris unless Norris leaves. If Norris leaves, McLaren is Piastri's for life.
I just think it's too convenient that he looked pretty solid in Japan.
Well, he outqualified Norris every single race.
Yeah.
Up until upgrade time.
And then, like, that was a significant gap. Whatever was with that car, he was not comfortable with it.
Yeah.
The car's clearly not. And I have no doubt that he'll adapt to it and he'll close the gap. But unfortunately,
But they'll keep developing the car
Correct.
towards Lando.
Yeah.
They've showed
the guy
there's
has the
enough-
number one on his car. They're not
stop
going
it,
to.
Stop it.
They're not going to not favor him. Of course,
He's-
they're going to back him and what
Yeah.
he wants.
And they've shown enough now. They've spent 3 years together, these 4 years now. We've seen enough now to show they have polar opposite driving styles. And that doesn't work in a team where you're meant to have equals because we saw in Canada, they could have gone down the path of here's a car for you, here's a car for you, you just run different spec stuff. But then, and that's what they did for a race or two was, okay, you run a different suspension. And then they decided, yeah, you know what? And maybe it's budget cap error nonsense. Who knows? But then they go, yeah, we're just going to run the same car for both drivers.
The budget, I think that's every team because you can't develop two completely different chassis.
But it's not that. It's suspension pickup points and suspension angles.
Well, it's everything. You're not going to build two cars. But the nature of the sport,
if
only
there was
one
enough
car,
money that they could, they would. That's what I'm saying. Is it budget cap or is it laziness or is it?
No, it's budget cap.
Yeah.
It's the dilemma of the sport because it's a quote unquote team sport, but only one car can ever win a race and a championship. It doesn't even matter if you were to be completely even and be like, let's alternate it, so we can all win equally.
Because you say equal as an equal opportunity, the driver makes a difference. But unfortunately, McLaren's idea of equal opportunity is not right.
No, but without risk of... look, I already know that the season for us is probably going to go down the same rabbit hole as what it did last year. We're going to be crying. We're going to be putting on our tinfoil hats or whatever and crying out. But I think that you got to look at what's going on. Look at the facts, everything that you can see, and call it as it is. And I think Piastri he's smart. He's getting paid good money. He, at the moment, can probably afford to be a little bit patient. So even like right now, if it's like a case of, okay, we're probably not going to win the championship next year, but if I bide my time, I can get into the right seat. I'm coming into my championship window. He's not going to go and shit all over McLaren in the media. He's just not going to do it, even if it was happening. Look at I still think that how can you look at a team that celebrates a championship without one of their drivers who achieved it from last year? Look at the facial expressions that were on him post-race X amount of times just for him to an hour later say like it's all good. I think all of these things show that he knows how to conduct himself in the media and he's not going to burn McLaren and he'll set the record straight. But I think he knows really what's going on. Why would these rumors be so vicious and just continuously keep coming up through official channels as well?
But the rumors rely on Max leaving the spot. That's the problem.
But hang on. We're only talking about Red Bull there. Yes, Red Bull
because who cares? Piastri will break contract and go. He's done it before.
No, but I think if he got an opportunity to potentially go to Ferrari, if the Aston was looking good, he might have been pretty hungry to go there. Yeah. I think he's keeping his eye out for an opportunity because I think he's starting to realize that it's probably not going to happen for me here in McLaren.
Yeah.
Even though he might come out in public and say that that's not the case, because that's what you have to do.
Exactly.
So
look, Senna wasn't patient. Schumacher wasn't patient.
No, and
Hamilton wasn't patient.
And I would argue that Piastri's biggest weakness was he wasn't selfish enough last year. All of the most successful drivers, especially ones that have won multiple championships, were selfish.
And impatient.
Yes.
You don't wait. You don't know. You live with. You don't know when your next opportunity is.
No.
You don't sit there and go, "Oh, it'll be next year." Look at Ricardo. Look at that beautiful young hotshot he was.
Okay, now you want me to cry. Is that what you're trying to do here? All right, that was a good little powwow.
Yeah,
that kept us going for another week.
Yeah. What do we got next week? Canada. Oh,
Canada. So it's at 2:00. So safe to say, I'm probably not going to live stream that one. That was brutal timing last week.
That was actual genuine hard work.
Yeah, that was the hardest I've ever worked in my life, I reckon.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have the normal pod. I think any of the half decent races, we'll get together and we'll live stream them so we can hang out and chat with everyone. But
yeah, these 4 a.m. ones.
Canada, that ain't it. Yeah. How do you feel about Canada as a track in general?
It's pretty good. I think it generally results in good racing. I mean, last year we had the Lando Oscar crash. The first track they came to where they had real weakness.
Yep.
So we'll see if that trend continues for the dominant cars this weekend. But yeah, it's fast. And again, it's got a long back straight. So we'll see how this super clipping nonsense carries on.
Yeah, well, I look forward to seeing it. And,
it's probably tough to overtake on. So again, we'll see how these regs may alter that.
Yeah.
But because it's fast chicane, like you have that hairpin, that's pretty well it.
Yeah, I get the feeling that we might see a few cars in the Wall of Champions.
Yeah, and the walls are close.
If they don't have the same level of grip from last year. So
it was bloody snowed in last week, I saw.
In Canada.
Yeah, this was not a picture. I might have been duped. But I swear maybe it was a little bit longer than I thought. But yeah, I saw if it was all iced up.
We'll be coming to their summer, so
That's
I
what
can't
I was
imagine.
thinking. I was like, maybe I've been.
Anyway, Canada next week. So thanks for hanging out with us, especially if you've made it this far into the video. We would absolutely be delighted if you could just press the like button.
Like, comment, share.
The subscribers have been ticking over again, so somebody's listening. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, lately, it's actually been like 90% of our subscribers, like 90% of the views have come from subs. So if you're subbed, it's great. Most people have.
Yeah, we love having you
Just
here.
share to the people who aren't watching for some reason.
Yeah, and flick us a comment. We love to see who's watching and where you're from, and how on the ball we are, whether you agree with us or not. Always love to hear it.
Yeah.
I feel like we're pretty.
Oh, we're the best there ever was.
We're pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So
pretty spectacular.
yeah.
Yeah.
If I did, if we don't say so ourselves.
Yeah,
So,
right.
yeah. If I
Best,
can get you to shut up about NASCAR, that'd be nice. So
hey, if people are still here, comment. Let me know. If you want me to talk about the NASCAR, I'll talk about the NASCAR.
but yeah, we'll see you next week. So
All right. See you then.
GG's.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.